Boom boom world. So wonderful morning to you all. Oh, I'm doing some running and yes, it's time to breathe. So I thought, why not give you a nice story about myself? So how I came to this planet. So basically I'm an early kid. I came earlier than I was expected. So I think it's like 2-3 weeks early. However, so the whole story goes, my mom went to the doctor because she felt contractions, and they looked up. Don't worry, like at least 2-3 weeks more. All right, yeah, sure. She went home, and on the gate, like, she took the handle. The juice is out, all right? She was worried and scared, so she ran across the street. So my grandpa used to live there, right? So her dad. And my grandpa, so her dad, had a car at that time. It was a Renault 4, yeah. So the umbrella gear, yeah, white color, wonderful machine. So never mind. So beautiful car. So the situation is here, all right? And my dad was working, right? My mom was at home alone, basically, with my brothers. I have 2 brothers. So, and she was worried. So what now? She walked to my grandpa's place, so her father, and to say like, please take me to the hospital. I'm having a birth now. But he was like doing a big fat shit outside, And however, it took very long for him to squeeze it out for some reason, And my mom was like, oh my God, what now? All right, so when the poo-poo was done, Grandpa was like ready. He was like pale and scared and didn't know what to do, like worried. So my mom said, you know what? Let's go pick up my husband. So my dad from work, he used to work in a company, just, let's say, when we are heading outside of our city. So it's on the way, basically, when you go out, and because in our city you couldn't give birth, you have to drive to other cities that have actually appropriate hospitals, when this was possible. So they went to pick up my dad. Yeah, of course, time was passing, right? And I was like, I see the light and I want out, right? So, however, sit in the car and we were on the way. We were on halfway. Yeah, and that's it. It all started. So we stopped under a tree, all right? So, all right, so my dad did the whole thing. So he has no idea how, but he told me, like, I knew what I need to do. Like, Eric, you cannot believe, like, I have no knowledge on this. It just happened. Like, I know everything, like, what, how. So it was January, 13th. And it was really cold. It was like minus 15, 20. But they were not prepared because they left in a hurry. So the car, while heating and everything. So I was born like that on the back seat of the car, like with the door open, so facing outwards, under the tree. So in the car, my grandpa was like completely pale, and he just watched the rear view mirror and like, changing colors. How fascinating. So when this was done, so my dad took off the t-shirt and he wrapped me in it. So he was actually freezing and I was probably feeling better. But however, I love cold, like minus is my thing. And, so we headed to the hospital. When we arrived to the hospital, they asked, so where did you bring this baby from? So she was like, but where? Like, I gave birth on the way and, this is what we got for information. Oh yeah, no. You cannot register the kid because it was not born in the hospital, right? So, interesting, right? So, I was not born in a hospital and I was not able to get registered. So, for the next 2 years, I did not have name, right, at all. They called me baby because they were having issues registering me as a baby, as a newborn baby. And the question was, like, where is this baby coming from? So, and my dad and my godfather look into laws like very long time, all right, to figure out like what's going on. So they said, you know what, at the end, because they went 1,000,000 times and I cannot be registered still. And therefore, you cannot whatever. So I'll just carry on. So And there was, you know, deciding about my name. So it would be actually Alexander. All right. So Alex, or I think it's also like a cool name, you know. But yeah, the whole thing is they went there with the camera crew, you know, with the news to say like, okay, so we checked the laws and this, you know, and you should be able to register a kid. So they were again in arguments, like every single time, arguing, shouting, and because they couldn't get it done, and my father really got tired, like after already 2 years passed, you know, and I'm still like baby, and everyone call me baby. So like, what's going on? You know, it's like, it can't be happening. So, and they were arguing. So they asked, so, oh, all right. So what is your wife's name? It's Erica. Yeah. All right. So, and they were like still in conversations, and at the end they just handle on paper, right? And she looked at the paper and still arguing, like, you know. And my godfather told him, hey, look, like, Milan, have a look, you know. There is a name there, you know. We got the paper, you know. He checked the name, you know, and it says, like, you know, it's a birth name, Eric. And he said, like, who told you Eric? Like, you know, it's like, but says, don't worry, you know, it's like my godfather said, you know, it's at least we got the paper. And then he looked at it and said, you know what, like, actually, yeah, that's it. You know, we did it, and I'm registered. I'm an Eric, all right? So this is how I got my name, so by mistake. So from my mom. So, but it wasn't even intended, you know. And when he said, "What's the name of your wife?" he said Erica, and he thought that again he heard when they asked him, "So what is your wife's name?" Erica, but they were asking for the child's name. What do you want to give it the name? And he said Erica. And they look, Erica? Well, you know, that's a female name, so let's do Eric instead. And that's how Eric, you know, became my official name. So, and how wonderful, yeah. So, and I'm born under the tree in a car in a Renault 4, and you know, and 2 years later, you know. So, however, on my story, there is another thing, so that I would like to add. I find it very interesting. So, in elementary school, so I was officially the worst student ever that existed in the history of the school itself. I'll bring you proof on this, all right? Next time when I visit my homeland, I'll try to look for it. So I have it somewhere saved. So the whole thing written in pages, yeah? Because this goes into details. And I just want to share it with you, like opinions of, like, I got blamed for the stuff, right? I did bad things, right? I'm not saying I didn't. And I wasn't like a role model, right? What I did is like, let's say a professor is talking something, I just walk out, or I sit, you know, on stuff up and I don't want to come down. And, you know, go to the principal, yeah, sure. And I go and I talk, like, I still don't care. I jump through the windows and I just leave class and do things and, you know, but however, no one wanted to understand me. Like, nothing did make sense. We repeat stuff a million times. You tell me once, I get it, yeah? And we repeat, and it's... No one asked me, like, Eric, what do you think about it, you know? And then everyone wanted to pay attention because I disagree with the things that went. They wanted to let me, you know, and I always could argue with it, but I didn't want because you're the bad, you're all the time. Like, what? And yes, I did things, you know, because... I think, you know, as a kid, I didn't get maybe enough attention. That's how much I should. You know, parents were fully working, trying to make, you know, end meet, you know, just in order. So therefore, we were spending quite a lot time alone. And, yeah, so I was a lot in the street and maybe not around people that are role models or whatever. But, you know, it's, nature taught me a lot, you know, in terms of survival and things. It doesn't matter, actually. But, you know, so I got blamed for everything that was happening in the school. I was fine with the things that I did, all right? And I said I admit it. But the rest, I just got it. And I got blamed for all, yeah? That, I'll never forgive them, yeah? Because, like, that's not fair. You do that to so many people. Let's say if you are a bad person, or, you know, you did something wrong, everything is on you, you know? And they'll be, you. Like, it's fine, yeah, you did some stuff, but not all, you know? And this is where, come on, like, you know. However, I'm living my happiest life ever. You know, I came to realizations and I did career changes, language changes, country changes, like mind-blowing, like getting to know people and stuff and learning. And I'm learning more than ever. Like, I'm so interested in things. I'm so positive. I'm so happy. I'm so energized. I'm so, I see, like, amazing. And this is why I'm encouraging you also do it. Like, others will point fingers and, they say, the kid has ADHD. You cannot control him. You cannot this, you cannot that. Yeah, well, that's your opinion about it, and whenever someone cannot explain something, they give it a name, yeah, ADHD, and yeah, so what you gonna do about it? No, yeah, you give it a condition, like, how about, there is, oh my God, so many intelligent creatures around us, and you are also, like, the brutally intelligent, yeah? People want to convince you that you're not, and this is the thing that you can prove yourself. All right. No, you should not prove yourself to others. They have nothing to do with you. And most likely they'll just tear you apart or, pull your pants down and laugh at you. All right. And once you do it, they want to do it. Yeah. And everyone wants to know how you did it or whatever. It takes courage. You are facing yourself. All right. And you do things. And nature helped me a lot. I did, so I hang a lot around people, trying to understand, trying to, like, fit, to do stuff, to be stuff, to, you can do anything and even better, yeah? Million times better than everyone thinks. And I proved it to myself and also to others, but this makes no sense. Why should I prove myself to others? It's fine. And then I set even higher standards for everyone, expectations. Oh, we want everyone to be like you, because that's good for business, it's like, people fall apart, I did that to myself also. Like, wait, what? Like, absolutely not, sir. There's no money with what you can buy me like that, or stuff. So, I decided, what? Let's try to find something different on it. Nature, meditation, spending time outside, and actually I got connected back to myself in ways that I cannot explain. Yeah. And this is what I'm encouraging. So find yourself, and only only you, yeah? No one else does. And this is why life is about you. And do not back down. It's fine. You need time. Build your character up, get stronger, and do it. Yeah, that's it. All right, disappear for people. Oh, where have you been? Where this? Where that? We miss you. Oh. Yeah, well, I was doing me, for first time ever. And you know how happy it makes me? It's incredible, like, and it costs nothing. It costs courage that you face yourself because, people, so the things that you were feeding with your attention, with, you made a difference. I'm not saying you make other people happy. Who makes you happy? I lost 98% of my family. Myself, I buried them all, yeah? All my animals, all my favorite things that I ever had in my life. And at these times, so just understand, my parents were not around, all right? Because it doesn't matter. So, and I had to face these things alone. So dressing up corpses and doing things that, like at age that it's really not appropriate to do that. And, I said, yeah, like life. I never even questioned, like, why me? Like, well, whatever, It's like, who can do it if I am here, And there were grown-ups around me and everyone. I'm not blaming anyone. It's like you think you know something and you look with your eyes on me and, feeling bad and sad and, oh, poor guy and this and that. Like, you're not helping anything, all right? And you all had opinions and everything saying like, oh, this and that. Yeah, sure. That's what you think. Just to be clear, all right? So, life is wonderful and nothing can tear you apart. That's what they want you to think, And, oh, yeah, go see psychologists, go this, go that, And you're looping around, and there is no outcome. Only you can help yourself. And there is always faith and hope in everything. Yeah, so find your teacher, find stuff that works. I said journaling helps, right? If you cannot journal, record voice thingies, listen to them, listen patterns. You will understand better. Narrow it down. Find it somewhere, yeah? Do through painting, through art, create, yeah? Like, if you cannot, like, touch, see, you know, if not, like, in your mind, you have the choice still in which way this goes. Brutal capabilities. I say disabled people are happier than people that can move, and, like, what? Yeah, exactly. How is that? You can, and still, like, alive and it's your choice to feel that way. So I stopped running, and I need more juice. Yeah, I need to keep running. So wish you the most wonderful freaking weekend ever, and absorb it all, and do it for yourself. Yeah, nothing can tear you apart. So this was like a morning story to juice up your day if you feel like it. But if not, like, you know what to do. Be you. Yeah. Mwah.